Okay, so whenever I do these, sometimes I like to do is not exactly say where I am until the video is almost over, and we just look around and I show you the nanocarbon and the imagery and everything. Just something I like doing. More fun for me. What I'll probably do is end up changing the filter. I'm just going to look around a little bit because this particular object, I'll probably give it away anyways as I'm going along. We're just going to look around in here. I could point things out and stuff. I could start pointing things out by the thousands. I'll just say that in every one of these frames, every frame, there's 1,000 images right there at your beck and call. Just go in and start looking around. Pick them all out. They're everywhere. Okay. And I'm not. I do have a telescopic lens on right now, but I'm not zoomed in. I could zoom in for more. We could keep going in, and I could keep getting you more and more imagery as I go. But I'm not going there yet. So, hang on. I'm gonna give you the outside stuff first. I'll probably, here and there, I'll let the camera sit for a second like I'm doing now. I do have my stick. I can start pointing out imagery to you everywhere. You should be able to understand what you're seeing everywhere when you're seeing this imagery and not be afraid of it. You'll see the feline, canine, ape, rodent, human, and beast over and over and over again. I have a lot to talk about. A lot of things have been coming my way. I don't even know where to begin. I got to get my thoughts straight in my head right now. I need to reach out to Santos Bonacci as well and keep my fingers crossed that he's a real person as well. Because I found, I'm not even going to talk about it right now. I found something really big with the constellations, what we call the constellations. When I was looking into the veil, one of the things I always wondered over the years was where do these people back in time and under the geocentric religions get off claiming that these stars, bringing lines from star to star was somehow making those images, whether it be the image of Thor or they were full body images. Let's point that out. The only place I get full body imagery is the moon. And I've been looking real hard in the clouds and in the trees and in the steam and in the smoke and the ice. I just did an ice dome for another video that I did. I'm looking in there. I cannot find any body imagery except for in the moon. And even when I look in at the veil, I don't see any body imagery. But something keeps occurring to me that if I'm seeing the body imagery in the moon, then why not the possibility that if there's body imagery in the veil as well, that maybe at one time, before the geocentric model or soon after, during it, when they were still taking away our knowledge, when they were still in the process, that first couple thousand years of dumbing us down after the big event, after they built the veil, or after they turned the veil in the opposite direction, whatever. I know I'm moving a little bit fast in here, but the imagery is everywhere. You should not have no problem picking this up even as fast as I'm moving. It's just like looking into the clouds. Look around. Just look around. And then when I'm done, I'll show you where I am. That's why I'm not going too far to the right now, because I don't want you to see where I am. Fix the music. What the hell did I do? It's like looking into the clouds. It's like looking into the water. It's like looking into the steam, the smoke. It's fucking amazing. Nanocarbon leaving their mark all over the fucking place. Can't miss the triangular shapes by the fucking bazillions. Okay, I think I'd like to try a yellow filter on this. So I'm going to pause you for a second. Hold on. So that's a green filter. I'm using a green filter now with a that little Walmart telescopic lens that I've got. To look in on this object, which I will tell you what it is when I'm done. It's image within image within image, clear as fucking day. The nanocarbon, the triangular shapes, present like a motherfucker. You should have no problem getting all this. See the three-dimensional shit that pops out at you as well as I'm looking around in here? It's pretty fucking cool, man. Should be able to tell by now what I'm showing you here by the shapes of some of this stuff is they're stones. I'm showing you into the side of a mountain. You can do this any mountain, any hill, any landscape, anywhere. Now, someone was asking me the other day about seeing it. Let's put it this way: seeing the imagery and doing things that are anything other than natural. My advice is no. Don't bother. Don't bother. There's going to be too much argument, too much debate. Don't bother. Just stick with natural things. And when I say natural, you might think, well, gee, the shit, Mike, you're saying the chemtrails, are spraying heavy metals out. That's human interference. And I guess that's my point. Stay away from anything that's had human interference. So in other words, I can go pull this imagery out of my clothing. Remember I was showing you the paper the other day, trying to separate when I go over to start showing you the moon on paper. I'm trying to show you how to separate the carbons from the pixels in the computer is another example. The pixels in the computer. I guess I can go to the wall now and show you. I was trying to stay away from this obvious wall here. Again, look at human interference. Human interference totally fucks up. Now, if they would have just blew up the side of the mountain with dynamite like they did here, nature takes its course, nature being the electromagnetic nanocarbon system that we live in, and this imagery is all left for us. When human hands touch it, yes, I can still go in and get the imagery out of these blocks, but I'd have to go in a lot deeper. They've been chiseled, they've been filed, they've been cut, not unnaturally, not just blowing apart the side of a mountain where everything just falls where the break was and the dust settles where it settles and the grass grows where it grows, that kind of thing. Anytime human interference comes into it, lawns are another good example when you're doing landscapes. You can go do a field in the wintertime when no one's touched it. You can go do that same field, and I just did recently. I'll post them for you. You could do the same field in the summertime, but if you do it after they cut the grass, it has human interference. So that same mountain was dug out by a bulldozer 2-3 years ago. The mountain that I'm going to be showing you, the one I'm going to bring you to, the landscape. And I know I'm moving a little bit fast and everything like that, but it's okay. I'm looking to move on. I'm already at 14 minutes. I'm just going to do these 20-minute videos and get through these. So you can do this anywhere. This was done again with a $35, all of this imagery, this collection of nanocarbon, let's be clear about that. This digital collection of nanocarbon was done with a $35 cheap-ass, whatever kind of phone camera this is. All inexpensive equipment. You will see it with your eyes. Use the cameras to get started, as I keep saying. And then once you start going in on it, you're grabbing the imagery. And then nanocarbon is a big part of this. Is you have to remember that It's a digital collection of electromagnetic nanocarbon. If you tell people you're just seeing images, they're going to pull a Russian vids on you. That's what Russian vids tried pulling on me when I first started talking about the clouds. Oh my God, only people that are on drugs and crack and heroin and shit see shit in the clouds. No, sir, you stupid asshole. You're a fucking liar. And obviously, for you to go that far, that fast, after me trying to get a hold of him for who knows how long, over a year anyway, never hear back from the fucking prick. And then the day that I put out about the clouds, he's all over me about it. That it's got to be imagination and it must be on drugs. No, found the whole fucking system. Trying to share it with people. And you were obviously blocking me, Russian vids. So, so you don't need anything fancy. You don't need anybody to show you this and bring it. It's just digital collection of electromagnetic nanocarbon. It's easy to do. Anybody can do it. You should be picking up the imagery by now. Del, Gav, and Brian. If you guys end up being real people, you should start grabbing the imagery by now. And seeing the nanocarbon. So what I was saying to the other dude that was writing me, I don't want to say people's names, but he was writing me, and if he is real, I mean, you never know nowadays. I got so many people flagging me and ranking me out and shit, so who the fuck knows. But if he is real, then he's able to catch the imagery, no problem, and admit to it, and he's fine with that. But the places that he was looking to go look for it, I would recommend against it. It'll be too much argument, too much debate. Stay away from anything that has human interference. Why bother with clothing and shit like that? It just doesn't make any sense. Unless something natural happens, and I'm going to bring you into some natural things too. Before this video series ends, I'll show you some things in like some children's paintings, children's water paintings, and I can go in and you can see the intent of the child, and you can see the intent of the nanocarbon system that we live in as well. You look within the painting. And it's just a 3-year-old's painting. It's cool shit. And then I got another one that I like to do, which I could do it anywhere, but I have places in my garage where from my growing rooms over the years and stuff like that have just spilled minerals all over the fucking floor. So there's these heavy metal compounds that are laying all over in the form of dried up nutrients for my plants, right? So they're just random shit. Dust got kicked over, nothing, no big deal. You can do this anywhere. So for your own sake, yeah, you can go do your pants, clothing, siding on your house, even synthetics. You'll even find it in the synthetics. You'll find the imagery. And you might say, gee, well, how does that work? Well, you got to break it all down. You got to break the particles down and the compounds down and figure out their magnetic ability, which I'm working on, doing all that. From the clouds, to the veil and back down to the ground again. Solid forms, liquid forms, the form of gas. And how these nanocarbon work. I mean, I'm seeing the imagery everywhere. I don't know how well it'll transfer for you. I'm flying through this fucking thing, but there's imagery everywhere. So it's already at 19 minutes, but all this is a research vid. It's a research vid on my channel. I'm going to press play, and we'll see what else I do. I don't remember what else I went into over here. Just a local park. I could do this at any fucking thing. Here's another area. Here's another section. I just went down the line a little bit. So I can do the same thing here. Matter of fact, maybe I'll take the next 20-minute video and do this spot right here. Just so you can see. I mean, this is all natural shit. No human. The only human contact that happened here, and we'll try to look for the spots while we're at it, is these rocks were blown apart at some point to make a road that went by here. So we'll try to find the drill marks where they drilled and blew things up and all that kind of shit. So there's your first introduction to the nanocarbon in the stone. Nobody ever gets this. Nobody ever fucking understands it. I don't think they'll ever get their heads around it. But hopefully you guys will. Hopefully you'll get it. Matter of fact, I'll leave this here for a minute. Um, the electromagnetic nanocarbon is all around us. It's shaping everything, all imagery, including us. I was saying this throughout the Sylvian Brothers Sanchez series. I don't know if people got it. What you're looking at here is the side of a mountain. Now, when I watch other people's videos like Sylvie from New Earth, from the New Earth channel, I'm watching her people go in and out of those ancient ruins all over those mountains and in those caves, and I'm yelling at the screen, look behind you, look around you, just look around you, because it's all full of the imagery. The imagery is everywhere. And here we are, they got us chasing our tails as usual. One thing I have not stressed enough as I've been doing these videos for Beyond the Imaginary Curve, and I will start, who they are. Whenever we're referring to they, please know that they is you, you're they, we are they is us. That's a big part of all this, and why the awakening is so impossible now. The real true awakening, I don't believe will even happen. It'll just be talk. There'll be very few people who actually wake up. The word awakening has been taken down so many fucking holes and treated like such shit that it's looked down upon. Kind of like the word truth. The word truth has been programmed into people's minds over hundreds of years now to be a bad thing, because there's these people out there called truthers. And this has been, you'd think it was only going on for like 50, 60 years. It hasn't. It's been going on for a lot longer. There's evidence of that. I can bring at least 100 years of evidence of that in the television shows and movies and shit like that. So anybody that's trying to tell the truth is going to be mocked, ridiculed. Anybody who's claiming there's an awakening that's supposed to be happening, or uses the word awaken or wake up, is going to be banned. They're going to be put on the same flat earth shelf, the same shelf that all these other psyops are put on. And that's exactly what they are, psyops. I have no choice but to use these words because it's all I have in my vocabulary that anybody else will understand. I can make up new words for the word awakening because I know the word awakening, or the word awake or wake up, the words wake up. I know how bad they are. It's terrible for the human psyche. They're going to hear these words and they're not going to listen. They're going to shut it right down. That's another reason why I think you'll notice that to me it seems best to show it to people. This is a visual thing. We all can see this with our own eyes. Everybody can see this. This is there for us. There's no reason why we can't. We just have to look, and getting people to look, like I keep saying, it's almost like you have to trick everybody. Otherwise they will not look. Let them see it first is my theory. Before you tell them too much about it, because as soon as the shit spews out of my mouth, and I know I'm not the easiest person to listen to look at either, but to listen to. This video is going to run long anyway. Hold on, I'm just going to put the telescopic lens on and just run this fucking video long. And then, because I'm going in on this particular research vid, I went into trees, all kinds of other shit as well. So if I can just do this, let's see. A little bit, okay. Alright, so this is a new section of that same wall. Okay, this is just another area, and I'm smoking a cigarette, drinking a coffee, and moving this fucking camera around. I'm very talented. So bear with me. And working a music box at the same time as well, too. Yeah, so this is the side of a mountain. They blew it apart to put a road through. I went into a shitload of rocks, stones, sides of mountains on this particular day, and I grabbed a bunch of research videos while I did it. It took me not even an hour to walk through, just walking through the parks doing this. Now that looks very interesting. Seeing someone that's looking for body imagery. That's another thing that I'll point out. Don't think that I'm slacking or lacking in any of the shit that I'm talking about. Believe me, I'm fucking looking hard, man. I'm looking hard. If you go back and watch my videos since the beginning of all this, the last 7 months of videos, I'm not fucking around. When I tell you I'm looking for other species, where are the fish? Where are the kangaroos? Where are the birds? Where are the lobsters? I'm looking for everything. So when I see shit like this, don't think that I'm not going in on it, because again, I'm being very careful not to see what I want to see. I'm looking for body imagery. I can already tell it's not going to be body imagery now, but as I was passing it, it kind of looked like it out of the corner of my eye. I already see what it is now. And that's another thing I'll say too, is that my contrast is fucking grown so good now. I'm able to separate this imagery really fast, really good. My contrast has gotten better since finding this, from looking at it, just from looking. So I'm able to separate these images real good. I try to crop them for you when I'm making videos of all this. Again, we're just in the side of a mountain right now, looking at stones and rocks, and there's natural heavy metals that come flowing down. Look. And they're all doing their thing, man. All these heavy metals are pushed and pulled into place by this nanocarbon, and they're all doing their thing, doing the same shit. This fucking thing. Doing the same shit they're doing in the clouds, in the grass, in the steam, in the smoke. And this is a rock. These are fucking stones. Let me get a little too close there. Hold on. Alright, I'm already at 28 minutes, so I'm not going to go much longer. I try to do 20-minute videos for a reason. There's a reason behind all my madness. And down here, by the way, those are bushes and grass. You'll see how they blend right in with the rest of the system. I don't talk about that much anymore either, but it is an important part of all this. You'll notice that one thing blends to the next. The trees will blend with the clouds. The grass and this shit. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's all right there for us to see. We can witness it all, get our heads around it very easily. Very easily. And I'll mention too, as I'm making these next 20 videos, the imagery is so good for us to be able to date things. We'll be able to properly date now. Carbon dating has a whole new meaning now. And everybody, we all can date it. We don't need to wait for Mr. fucking Scientist anymore. We don't have to wait for them assholes anymore. What I'm showing you now, okay, look at the rocks, right? These stones that are here. Don't even need an exact date. Just give me an estimate of when these rocks were here. I can tell you when they were blown apart. Okay, so even if I go back just 100 and something years, 130 years or whatever, and I go back to the construction of this fucking roads and when this was all blown apart by dynamite and everything, that's when this imagery was there. This imagery was there right then. Then over the years, of course, more imagery would be added because other heavy metals would come down in the form of liquid and rain. You'd have other heavy metals coming down from the mountain and leaking down this mountain where you look at all the white areas, right? So you have other heavy metals coming dripping down, adding to this imagery as time went on. Okay, so I can date this fucking now I can date things now. God, that sure does look like a fucking. See, I have to be careful about seeing what I want to see as well. I want body imagery. I've found body imagery in the moon now. I'm like 99.7% sure that I'm going to admit to that. And See, I can get a lot better too if I hold this in my hand. I can do a lot better. Because the thing is it's shaky, but I mean, I can get in and out a lot better. Yeah? I thought you already did. Yeah, go ahead. Maybe she just wants to smell you, smell the other cats or something. You know, again, this is something you should do for yourself because, like, see, I could have fun zooming in and out of all this. But it's not going to get through. Yes, go ahead. It's not going to get through to you as good as you going and doing it for yourself. Because I could just be some computer jizz. Doing crazy fucking shit, huh? Again, even in the Stones, another thing that I'll highly recommend before I forget is fucking unbelievable. This is pissing me off though. This thing's moving around on me. Um, Same thing with the stones, the trees. Notice, okay, when we start going in and all that. Yes, it's fun to do the videos and stuff like that because you could just pause the videos like I'm doing here, and you go in at different areas. You'll get more that way. What we call up and down, what we call straight, flat, up and down, horizontal. In other words, if you take a photograph of it, I'm looking at shit while I'm talking, so I'm getting lost. All right, so if you do videos, that's great. You can do what I'm doing now, pause the videos and all that stuff. But if you take photographs, you can flip the photographs around and do 360s with them on your computer and see the imagery in every different direction. There's a wow factor to that as well. And there's an understanding of what I'm trying to explain to people that I'm getting ranked out about right away, too. As soon as I start putting it out there, he starts ranking me out about it. Damn, I wish I would. The periodic table and the standard model needing to be reworked, and not just reworked, totally redone, totally redone. Nothing works the way they tell us. Yes, it works on a human scale that way. Yes, they can. The math works out in a mathematical equation. Yes, all of that. Looks like body imagery too. See, I'm wanting to see body images, so I have to be real careful. So I'm just warning you guys at the same time. You get to see me going through this as I'm making videos and stuff like that. I'm going to go in and keep going in on the shit. Whenever I see body imagery, I'm not going to just leave it at, oh yeah, that's definitely body imagery. I'm going to keep looking deeper and deeper and from all different angles to see if I could possibly get any body imagery out of it. Just like I was saying at the beginning of this, I know I jump around and bounce around, especially when I'm looking at shit myself. This is the first time I've ever looked into this. I took the videos I seen to show with my eyes when I made the videos. But when you go in like this telescopically, there's like layers. I can keep going in on layer after layer after layer. It's already a 35-minute video. Yeah, so this is, this is gonna come right after the other one. Look at this shit. I just put the camera down. Just put the camera down to rest it. Image after image after image. Image within image within image. No matter where you go. So this is rock, this is stone, this is solid. That's why I say a molten glass firmament, Brian, makes more sense to me, Brian, than the ice. Because the reason is because the ice would have to be pure and clean. All right? I'm not seeing that in this system. What you're calling pure and clean would mean that it doesn't contain any heavy metals. Kind of just like the clay stone that you're telling me. And I don't know if clay is holding any magnetic ability. I would have to assume that it does because it would be grabbing onto other stones that do carry heavy metal properties. So I would think that it does, but I have not investigated that part. What I do see with my eyes so far, looking around, there's impurities, what we would call impurities, everywhere. There's these heavy metals. I don't think heavy metals are impurities at all. I think heavy metals are a fucking beautiful thing, and we just lost the technology for it all. We can't figure out how to fucking tie our shoes at this point, and we all think we're geniuses. That's the other shitty thing. We've all been convinced that we're fucking so smart because of these things called education, whether we were educated by a television, whether we were educated by the school system, whether we were educated by a bunch of books, whether we were educated by religion. We all feel that we were educated in some way and feel we got to have these huge egos. This fucking thing. I'm gonna have to do something about the sliding shit going on with these. Yeah, that's all right. So yeah. Anyways, that's what we're looking at. Anyways, is just looking into the side of a mountain. That's it. Just looking at some rock. Now I've done other mountains, and I will continue to do so. That we're not blown apart by dynamite. That are still there, natural like that for a long time. That's what I mean about dating shit. We should have an easier time dating things once we come to terms with this technology. It should be no problem for everybody. I'm really pissed about YouTube right now, like I usually always am. I'm trying not to make any videos about it because I don't like wasting time making videos about making videos. But I'm not going to continue to do this. Matter of fact, I was going to do this series to Santos Bonacci. I have it planned. I already started actually putting the videos together on it because I think it's important that Santos gets this information. But I don't think I'm going to do another series for a while. I think I'm going to just finish up this one and I'm going to go back to the streets because these streets, as I keep saying, I get more on the street than I do on YouTube. As far as anybody waking up, it's not going to happen. I mean, there's a few new subscribers and stuff, but I don't know who they are or what they're up to or anything. As a matter of fact, I would say that more of my subs are coming from these channels like Jamie Lee from A Plain Truth. He's had his people, you know, following me and flagging me for a while. I'm guessing that's who it is anyway. I didn't notice a lot of bad shit happening since Matt from Quantum of Conscience, for example. I didn't notice much happening from the time that I did his videos. But Jamie Lee, for some reason, I keep getting tagged. And I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. It's just a pain in the balls. So doing it on the street, I actually enjoy myself more. So I'm going to do my other channels and just, I mean, the imagery in here is unbelievable. As I'm talking, just look around. It's fucking everywhere. Everywhere. It's image within image, just like the clouds, just like the smoke, just like the steam. I separate the shit with my eyes, no problem now. I'm not getting any body imagery. The couple that I thought I saw, I went in and looked at, It's image within image within image. And I'll be back. I don't. I'm just blabbing about nothing. I guess just bitching.